Good morning from a bright and sunny day in England. Unfortunately, there are storm clouds right across the world, politically that is. And let's be honest, we all know that politicians very rarely keep their promises and are mostly in it for themselves, whether that be for money or the fame it might bring along with a Nobel Prize. But Trump, I'm afraid, is becoming famous for his broken promises. The JFK files, not fully revealed. The Jeffrey Epstein files, still secret. The content of Hunter Biden's laptop, still withheld. And Trump's no war policy has been ridiculed by his own bluster by going to war against the Houthis in Yemen. And he has promised to crush the Houthis for backing Palestine. And has also, in his madness, threatened Iran for standing with them. And his no war policy is crumbling, if not utterly crumbled. When Israel held the ceasefire, the Houthis immediately stopped their campaign to halt shipping into the Red Sea. And the reason for their campaign was to stop the ships delivering fuel and arms to Israel via the Red Sea. And as soon as Israel broke the ceasefire, then the Houthis repeated their campaign. And I'll leave a link to something that you certainly will not see on mainstream media. And it's a conversation between Judge Neapolitano and Pepe Escobar, who is a Brazilian journalist, quite wealthy, I believe, and he puts his wealth to good causes. And he was reporting from Yemen, the capital. And like I say, you will never see this on mainstream media. And the thing is, I can see the slaughter in Gaza, and so can you, along with the rest of the world, as long as we don't turn our backs on what is occurring, because many people do. And what we all know is what's going on there. A genocide of the Palestinian people, including women and children, is evil beyond evil. But believe it or not, it is still going on with the assistance of America, with weapons being supplied. And what is this thing going on with the USA? And it's a big question mark there. I feel like the little boy who has just noticed the king has no clothes. And the Holocaust has been forgotten. Because simply something similar is happening right now in Palestine by the very people who were victims of it. And the arrogance of man and his disregard for fellow humans is endless. And it makes me ponder Milton's Paradise Lost and the battle between good and evil. And make no mistake, both exist in equal quantities today, just as it has throughout human history. And the battle continues today. And maybe, perhaps it had, if Eve had bitten the snake instead of the apple, we might not be where we are today. Allow me to pause and turn to Ireland. She is also very much on the side of Palestine, mostly because Ireland knows exactly what it feels like to be oppressed by successive British governments, similar to the one in the 1840s and the role in the potato famine. The British government, who at the time governed Ireland, response at the time did nothing to provide any relief and made the suffering worse, and is still debated today whether the lack of help was ineptitude or malice. And most Irish people think it's the latter. That one event was responsible for the millions of Americans today who have Irish blood in their veins, and another reason why Trump and his band of merry hopefuls should tread very, very carefully indeed. 38 million Americans claim Irish ancestry because of that potato famine. And that, Mr. Trump, is a lot of votes. And the Nobel Peace Prize is a long way off, I'm afraid. And to be perfectly honest, the Nobel Peace Prize is not worth anything today, especially after Barack Obama received the Peace Prize. And by the time he went to Oslo to accept it, he had approved a 30,000 troop surge in Afghanistan. Not exactly a peaceful move, was it? Hypocrisy is amazing. And Trump also warned Iran about weapons of mass destruction and forbade them to ever have nuclear weapons. Not considering for one moment that Israel has nuclear weapons, helped along by America to build. And the hypocrisy is outrageous. But then, so is Trump and his band of incompetence. A war with Iran could last for 10 years or more. Can America afford that? Of course not. And by the way, Iran issued a fatwa against nuclear weapons. Would the Ayatollahs go against that? I don't think so. And I guess that really depends on the continual threats from the West. What would you do? No one likes to be bullied, especially by America. And I had great hope for America when Trump was elected, but it appears to me that the deep state he was going to uncover has him in their grasp, in the palm of their Svengali hand, along with a merry band of brothers and sisters. A system that is still corrupt as it ever was, if it's allowed to continue. And if it's allowed to continue, America will join the many empires that have fallen. And just maybe that can't be a bad thing, I'm sorry to say. So, thank you for listening to a man on the street who reads a lot, notices things and can add things up. We're not all graduates of university indoctrination, but a life of observation can rival most modern degrees. I can assure you of that. And a nod is as good as a wink from a blind man. Bye-bye.